certain things go better than others, and more than a few times there are conversations that probably wish didn't happen, and people are probably going to regret when they wake up in the morning. All those things said, though, it's an important event. It's a beautiful event. Then once everything's said and done, hopefully we can kind of come back as a family and regroup. And I think this year it's especially important. And unlike Christmas, there is no return policy. So we're kind of stuck with what we got. So I think it's important that no matter what candidate wins, no matter what party wins, that we come together and do the work of the people that have elected us. And as a society, we work better together because we simply have to do better. We can't let the political divisions and things that we've kind of seen over the last couple of years continue. We simply must do better. I think that's why it's very important that Mayor Mueller and I are coming here. And we're from different parties, but I think we've shown also through this entire pandemic that the importance of working together, putting politics and party aside to do what's right for our community. So I will now turn things over to Mayor James.
Well, thank you for coming, and it was important for Commissioner Kostielney and I to communicate with our city and broader community the importance of the process and how we move forward together as this very important and contentious, at times, election is coming to a close. First, I'd like to thank the poll workers for all their hard work, doing a job that in normal times is difficult, but it's been especially difficult this year in midst of a global pandemic and record historic turnout. So we encourage that no matter who you're supporting tomorrow, we encourage everyone to get out and vote and have their voice heard. And then we encourage people to be patient as we wait for those voices to be heard and those ballots to be counted. And then when we have winners, we need to make sure that we respect the process and we acknowledge the winners and figure out how do we move forward together. That's on our community. And then it's on the winners of these elections to figure out, even though there's a lot of division and there's a lot of different viewpoints and there's very different visions for how we go forward, it's up to the winners to figure out how do we bridge back together and move forward as one community. Because even though my ballot is likely to look very different than Commissioner Kostielney's tomorrow, we are one community, we are all Americans, and we need to figure out how to move forward together. And there can be peaceful demonstrations if there are issues that arise in the next few days, but they need to stay peaceful, and we need to respect the process and come together when this is all over. And with that, that's the statement we're hoping to get out to our community. Sure. Yeah.
Amy, if I could ask you, the turnout for absentee and early voting is already double what we saw in 2016. I'd love to just have your reaction to that. What do you think about that?
It's incredible. I mean, anytime we can make it, we want people to vote. It's imperative that people exercise this right. So what we will follow up to that is please be patient, because it's going to take, we won't get election results normally the night of the election as we think. It's going to take a day or two to further until we get those results. So please be patient, but I think it's great that so many people are exercising their right to vote during these times. I hope we have nothing to worry about. I mean, I don't think, at least in my years of being involved in the political process, I think South Bend and St. Joe County have done a great job of keeping things in perspective. So I don't anticipate there being any type of drastic ramification from the election, but that's one of the reasons why Mayor James and I are here today. We want to make sure the importance of that we need to, regardless of the results, we need to work together and, as James said, respect the process.
Are you working with the county police or the city police? I mean, we know that a lot of our federal law enforcement agencies are already preparing for a lot of civil unrest in major cities across the country. Just as a contingency plan, are you guys working with our local police agencies to sort of be prepared?
I Yeah, I think the sheriff is taking some measures. I don't know if James want to speak to the city.
Yeah, I mean, this is one reason why we wanted to have this this announcement here. Is there are concerns, not just here, but across the country, and tensions are running high. There's a reason why there's historic turnout this year, because people feel a lot is at stake in this election. And there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser, but we've got to remember that we're all one nation, we're all one community, and no matter who wins, we've got to come together. And we hope we haven't seen that happening here. We didn't see those types of things happen here over the summer, which we're grateful for. And we hope that it remains that way, where even if there are demonstrations, they remain peaceful and respectful of the process. Sorry, I missed the last part. Well, we've had this happen in many years, in many elections previously, where not all the results were in that night. And sometimes you have a good sense of where things are going. Sometimes, if the races are farther apart, you have results that night. But when it's close, and people expect this one to be close, it's unlikely we're going to get the results that night. And I think we all want to get it as quickly as possible, just so we know. It's been a long process, this election season. And, you know, as Commissioner Kostielney said, it is kind of like Christmas, but you don't get to open the packages right away. There's that anticipation. People just want to rip into the packages. But, you know, we've got to make sure every voice and every ballot is counted, because that's the important thing about the process, is that people are they're going to the polls, they're having their voice heard. For that to be heard, they have to have their votes counted. And so we all want it to happen as quickly as possible, but with the historic turnout, it just may take a little while longer to get those results. I don't know if Commissioner, you have just
one. And that's one of the reasons it takes so long, is because of the protocols that are put in place to make sure that the ballots, the integrity of the vote is maintained. So for every mail-in ballot, there is a Republican and Democratic inspector that opens each envelope and verifies the signature on that with something on file. So we want to make sure every vote is counted. And I will tell you, the clerk's office has done a fantastic job. Rita Glenn and her staff have done a fantastic job, both in operating the early in-person absentee voting, which we've seen record lines, but I think it's been very well done. And they're going to make sure they continue that hard work and diligence all the way through the process. So that just takes time. So we ask people to be patient.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
You too.